Hello, nation. Transmutation here, and I'm so happy to see each and every one of you. Tomorrow is my breast augmentation. I'm having the surgery on October 22nd, 2025. This is my third surgery of the year, so I'm very excited. I had vocal feminization surgery in January 2025. I had my body contouring, which is the liposuction, and then the fat grafting and fat transfer to the hips in July 2025. And then now in October, I'm having my breast augmentation. It took me a few months from me having the initial consults of my breast augmentation because my surgeon, who also did my body contouring, he said, you know what, you got enough. And that wasn't enough for me. So I asked for a second opinion, and I was able to be seen by one of his colleagues the following week. And they had said the same thing too. I wasn't going to take no for an answer. I would never let a cis person stand in my way, especially when it comes to accessing medical treatment, surgeries, and other aspects of the transition process. So for everyone out there, never let a cis person stand in your way when it comes to your own transition and your personal journey, because it is unfair and unjust that cis people are the ones making the decisions instead of the trans person, and not having autonomy of their bodily decisions in regards to their medical transition. I didn't let that stop me. So I had to file a grievance and then go through the whole process and did what I have to do with Kaiser, because there's a lot of steps in advocating for yourself when it comes to medically transitioning. Unfortunately, trans people have to advocate way more, and the lengths that they have to go in advocating for themselves for their medical transition is disproportionate compared to cisgender people and other people with medical conditions. I'm not comparing the level of advocacy of other chronic illnesses or any other health problems or health concerns that people have. I understand that the medical system in America is messed up, and it's not appropriate that people have to do that in order to access care and get the care that they need and deserve. But personal experience for trans people, we do have to advocate more so than cisgender people. But it is what it is. So I just am playing by the rules of the game. And I was able to go through the whole grievance process and then file another complaint with the State Board of California of the Department of Managed Healthcare, which is the regulatory agency that oversees all the healthcare plans in California. And that was another about a month-long process of that whole thing of speaking to a judge and giving my statements and also sharing my medical records. Eventually, they did determine that this surgery was medically necessary and issued a legally binding decision that Kaiser is forced to comply with. So I did receive my authorization letter back in August, and my surgery was going to be originally scheduled in September. However, I still had to recover from my previous surgery, so just pushed it back a month. So that was good. I am having my surgery tomorrow, and the whole process of me fighting and advocating for myself for this surgery took about 3 months, a little over 3 months, but I continue forward. I didn't let the no's from Kaiser stop me. And I think it's important that we continue to advocate for ourselves, not only for trans people, but for anyone else that are experiencing health issues and their insurance companies are denying them access to care. It's very important to know your rights in whatever state you live in or whatever country or province and wherever you reside when it comes to your healthcare and what you are entitled to and what you deserve and what you need. So trans people have to advocate for ourselves every step of the way, but it is what it is. So I'm very happy that I'm able to get my boobies to better align with my gender identity and gender presentation. I'm not really nervous so much because this is my third surgery this year, so I kind of know what to expect. I'm not really the type of person that's like super nervous. There is some initial anxiety of the final moments before you're put under fully. Even if I were to take my last few moments before that and don't have any recollection of afterwards, if something were to happen, at least I would die knowing that I was committed to living my life to the fullest extent, my authentic self, living my truth, and doing something that would further me in my journey in this life. So even if I were to die under surgery, doing what I was destined to do, and that is to serve kind. So I think that's the only moments that I feel a little bit nervousness, but it is what it is. That's life, just with any other surgery, whether it's trans or elective surgeries or any sort of other procedures that you may have. There's always some level of risk, but you can go throughout your life without taking any risks. I mean, I guess you could, but is that a life worth living? But in my life, in my journey, my vision of myself and how I want to express myself and present myself and share myself with the nation and the world, I have to have some surgeries. We need like a little bit of surgical interventions, and that's what's prescribed by my doctors and my other team of providers in my gender transition. So I'm very excited that I'm going to be having this procedure. I will be having 325 cc's of silicone. They're Mentor implants, high profile, dual plane. So a lot of people have been asking me, oh, like what size is that going to be? What is it going to look like? And I can't really tell them because the implant size is relative to whatever person is getting the surgery related to their body and their anatomy. The same size of implant is going to look very different on two different people because based on their height, width, weight, proportions, however their body is, it's going to look very different, even though they might have the same size implant and the same style and the same placement, whether it's dual plane, submuscular, subglandular, over the muscle, below the muscle, or dual plane, which is utilizing both. It's going to look very different based on whatever people's anatomy. I am assuming that it will probably be like D or double Ds. I don't know what's in store in regards to my recovery. I know that I can't shower for the first week and I have to wear the little binder dressings for the first week until I have my post-op visit, and then I can shower and have more range of motion probably after the first week. And then by the second week, I should be feeling back to normal, and I would still have to continue to wear the little, I'm just going to say training bra. I don't know what the correct term is, but just a little support bra for the first month, I think they said. And some articles or some information I've read online, they had their patients wear the little training or support bra up to 3 months, which is a long time. But I think after the first month, you can just wear it at nighttime. And then during the day, you could have another bra or some other way to support. But I'll ask my surgeons what they recommend. And it's always important to do your own research and advocate for yourself, but also listen to your surgeon. Hopefully, for the girls and other non-binary trans femmes that want to have this surgery, you are able to see a board-certified plastic surgeon and not just any sort of cosmetic surgeon. I learned about the differences between those two. Unfortunately, a lot of people want to just make some money off people, and that's just what they do, and people don't know the difference. It's important to do your due diligence and learn more about the providers in your area, whether it's covered through your medical insurance or you have to pay out of pocket. Do your research. It's very important because this is a serious procedure. So you need to be well educated to make the best informed decision in regards to your medical transition and your healthcare. So it's also interesting to note that originally when I first started my medical transition a few years ago, I was still in my eating disorder. I hadn't entered my eating disorder treatment recovery yet. And I did not want boobs at all. I was like super non-binary, like just wanting to be, I mean, I'm still non-binary, but it was very like, oh, I just want to be more androgynous. I don't want to have any breast development. I just want to have like all the feminine features and all the other feminine traits that comes with medically transitioning on estrogen. I wanted to minimize the breast development, so I actually did take a prescription medication called Evista or Relaxafine. Relaxafine is a SERM, which is a selective estrogen reuptake modulator. So I forget what the R is, but it's a SERM, which is prescribed for people that have osteoporosis, which was actually a boon because I'm sure that helped me with my eating disorder because I was malnourished and I have osteopenia, which is the stage before osteoporosis. So that actually was helping me in my eating disorder recovery without me knowing it. But it is also prescribed off label for people that don't want to develop breasts when they medically transition. At that time, my endocrinologist, I had spoken to her about what I just shared with you, and she prescribed it for that reason. That actually did prevent some of the breast growth, which I noticed and I enjoyed at the time. But I also think that having my eating disorder at that time also contributed to the lack of breast development and breast tissue growth. And from then, a few years ago, to now, of me wanting to have more of a feminine shape, having the breast augmentation, the body contouring, all that sort of stuff, is kind of crazy, low key, for me going to be like, oh no, like I don't want this, I don't want that. That was a lot of it was the eating disorder and the gender dysphoria related to the eating disorder and that sort of stuff. But now it's like, no, girl, like I want the ass, I want like the double boom. So it's just interesting to see my developments of not only my medical transition and my eating disorder recovery, but also my femininity and my gender identity, even though I still identify as non-binary. It's interesting to not only see the development, but also experience it as well. I don't know about any other people that when they first start their transition wanting certain aspects or certain things, and then years down the line, it changes. But this is just my personal experience that I wanted to share with you, Nation, because I love you and I want to share my love with you. And also my big rack once I'm fully a little bit more recovered. But this was just me sharing my experiences of my journey in my breast augmentation and my medical transition so far. So this is surgery number 3. 3 surgeries in 1 year. I am proud of myself of not only prioritizing my medical transition and also all the work that I've done in my medical transition, my social transition, even though I am still struggling with other aspects of my life. But this is one part of me where I'm feeling good about the changes and I'm glad that things are working out. Not necessarily how I planned, but things always work out. You just have to trust the process and trust in yourself and have faith in the universe and myself and with the nation that you are on the right path in your journey, in your life, whatever that may be. So continue to grow and evolve and become the beautiful person you're destined to be. Nation, what are some of your favorite moments of your transition this past year so far? Whether it's your medical transition, your social transition, or any other aspects that have brought you trans joy and gender euphoria, let me know. I love learning about trans people and their unique personal experiences. We're all trans or a part of the gender expansive community, and we are all one nation, but we all experience it just a little bit differently. I love hearing about other people's perspectives. So let me know, what was your favorite moment so far of your journey? I love you, nation.